A really important book that I acquired, it's been a couple of years ago, edited by Stephen Finlan and Vladimir Kharlamov. It's the Princeton Theological Monograph Series. It is the idea called Theosis, and that is Deification in Christian Theology. It's a Pickwick Productions book, 2006, where various scholars of the Christian tradition got together and discussed this very fascinating doctrine, this very fascinating idea of theosis, and how it is a valid concept. Now, we LDS have studied this idea of the deification of mankind from the inception of the Restoration, from Joseph Smith's day onward. And it is one of those doctrines that we are accused of being non-Christian, because we teach that basically the doctrine of the LDS is that deity and humankind are not creator-creature, but we are the same species. It's a matter of degree, not kind. That is the difference between humanity and divinity. And we believe that the Bible teaches this doctrine very solidly. We believe that it was a doctrine that was viable with the early Judaism, early Christianity in Jesus' day, but that the doctrine was basically lost or changed until it was restored. And we have been basically accused of being non-Christian because we have taught this theosis. So this is a very significant contribution to the discussion from various different Christian scholars analyzing the different church fathers, exploring the biblical scriptures, understanding this idea of what does it mean to partake of God. What does it mean to have the divine nature in us? Is it inherently in us because that's how we're made? Or do we become divine through adoption? There's not necessarily just one singular, monolithic, unified understanding and view of this principle of deification in early Christianity. But it has come out now that theosis, this is the Greek word, the theosis, the deification of humankind, is certainly viable. Excellent discussion on the from the introduction. They say deification refers to the transformation of believers into the likeness of God. And a few ideas that I just want a couple of highlights to give you the sense of the intellectual, of the spiritual, of the grammatical aspects of this, I would dare say, one of the most stunning doctrines to ever grace us as a human species. That the divine would embrace humanity within and under its cloak and make us one with it. Now this has come out really quite powerfully. I think it's very fabulous here on the, this is the introduction on the theosis. The notion, this is on page 4, the notion of being transformed by God or taking on the divine nature. The divine nature is shared with humankind. God has that power, God has that capacity, God has that desire. It is the will of God. You know, our LDS scriptures, the book of Moses. This is my work and my glory, to bring to pass the immortality and eternal life of man. Well, this is deification. These various different scholars indicate the various types and principles of spiritual progress, elevating us into the divine realm as divine beings, gods, because we partake of the nature of God. It's very interesting to see this beginning to be elaborated on now. A very encouraging development within Christian theology, I would argue. Ignatius of Antioch. Now I'm on page 52. I'm just touching on a couple of highlight ideas here. Ignatius of Antioch. Imitation of Christ leads to intimate union with the object of imitation. There is a union. We become conjoined. We become one with Christ in God. This is an incorporation into Christ. This can be termed Christification. Oh. No LDS scholar has ever put it more beautifully. This is Christification. That's perfect. Folks, that's beautifully put. I really thought that was a powerful thought. Page 62. An important aspect of Ignatius's theology is a concept of a union of flesh and spirit that comes from Jesus Christ. He even talks about the blood of God. Flesh and spirit are not only complementary characteristics of the incarnate God Jesus Christ, but also significant characteristics of redeemed humanity. Not fallen humanity only, but redeemed humanity here. The unity of doctrine and practice, all of human nature is called to be a bearer of God. It is sin, not materiality, that brings separation between humankind and God. Fleshly things become spiritual through Christ when enacted by those who are spiritual. Kind of a nifty idea there. And then on page 96. According to Irenaeus, now this is Irenaeus, the early Christian church father, the opposition between Exodus 33:20, no man shall see God and live, and Matthew 5:8, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God, is not resolvable by attributing the former reference in Exodus to God's eternally invisible essence, and the latter reference to his visible energies. Instead, Irenaeus attempts to reconcile the apparent contradiction by making appeal to Luke 18:27. For those things that are impossible with men are possible with God. See, so many times people say, no, God can't make us gods. Really? Well, I'm not going to be that bold to limit what God can and cannot do. I don't know God's powers and mind. He can do whatever he wants to. According to the scriptures that even these people bring out, the idea is to become one with him and share in his fullness of glory and power and honor through the Son. That's deification. To participate, this is on page 103, to participate in the divine nature as he understood the concept, and this is Irenaeus again on Christology, is to receive adoptive sonship to God the Father, which is to be assimilated to God the Son through incorporation to the humanity. Because of Christ's atonement, and I've discussed this on my Atonement as a Rite of Healing, he brings us back to the presence of the Father through the atonement. The atonement is the at one meant. It is two becoming one. I highly recommend this book. I will give this book a 4-star rating. It is a book I will read several times. It is crucially important because now the Christian scholarship, because of all the discoveries of the New Testament papyri and various wonderful analysis capable, because of our computer bases, because we can put the scriptures into the computers now and so on and so forth, and do word studies and textual analysis and data statistics and so on and so forth. This doctrine of deification is really a serious one. It is a beautiful one. It is a grand one. And it is a Christian one. I highly recommend this book.